Good evening, Fernwood. It is your media-using friend Neil here, and it's time for us to socialize with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 164 from November 18th, 1976. Yesterday we crossed a Rubicon. That was the halfway point of the entire series of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. I know that because I put away the third case of DVDs in the DVD set, and now we're at case number 4. There's 6 of these babies with 6 discs each. So hey, we're making progress. Yesterday started with Jody trying to ease Charlie's anger after the scheme to make Charlie jealous when Jody kissed Loretta. And when Jody clarified that he understood about Charlie's testicle injury, Charlie went ahead and called Dr. Fracas to set up a situation. And though Dr. Fracas is thrilled that Charlie is ready to go along, there is no available donor for a testicle at the moment. Kathy is shown to her new room in the Addams household. She is very, very uncomfortable and mainly wants to get a sandwich to eat. Christine does not believe that her kitchen can supply a tuna fish sandwich and suggests quiche. And in general, Kathy is really, really uncomfortable. Look at the curvature of that spine. And then finally, Merle pays a visit to Tippy Toes at her trailer because she might have some information that could help him get free of the charges against him since Condos for Christ collapsed. Tippy Toes thinks she has some information, so they head into the back of the trailer when Mary shows up with a cake and is somewhat suspicious at hearing 2 voices in the back. Once Mary discovers that it's just Merle, they enjoy some cake and talk about Ralph Waldo Emerson. That is our recap for the halfway point episode of this series. I believe it's time to get the second half started.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! Why is it that you don't like leftovers? That's all we have. Now take. Are you trying to turn vegetarian on me?
Ma, I have the solution.
To what, Mary? Oh, there are so many problems around here. You're going to have to be more specific.
I know, it's for Kathy's baby. I have the solution for Kathy's baby.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, but there won't be any need for a solution now.
There won't be? Why not?
Kathy has left home.
What do you mean? She ran away like Pa? Oh, Ma, no.
No, Mary, she didn't run away. She just quietly and calmly left this house. She even gave me her phone number. I have it here someplace.
But where did she go?
Now, listen, she moved in with that wealthy couple who was going to adopt her baby.
She is so much like Melinda Mason on Hope for Tomorrow.
I don't watch that show.
Mama, listen to me. You have got to convince Kathy that she is on the wrong road here. Now, you have got to try to remember, where did she go?
Well, Mary, I don't know the address, but I have seen the house.
You have seen the house? Where is it? Is it in Fernwood?
The house is right there on the counter.
The house is on the counter.
Yes, in that magazine there, Ohio the Beautiful. Yes, it's on page 48, I think. There, it's the Beauty House of the Month. And just look at that lovely pool.
Okay. Oh, I found it. Okay, now, do they give the address? The house of Mr. and Mrs. Brian Adams. Note the exquisite pool in pink and black mosaic tiles depicting Moses and the 10 Commandments. I will bet that these people are patients of Dr. Medwick.
Dr. Medwick, the biblical sex therapist?
Ma, you know, no matter what they say, you're getting smarter. Now, I am going to call the Ohio Beautiful Health offices now. I'm going to find out what I... Detective Johnson, hello.
Good morning, Mary. Martha, I just came to pick you up for work.
Oh, how sweet.
Detective Johnson, I would really like to thank you for everything that you've been doing. I mean, a job for my mother is about the best thing that...
Yes, but I'm not going.
You're not going? But they need you as a rape victim for rookie class number 18.
That's very significant work, Ma.
Then we'll just have to get me a stand-in because I have to go to Colorado.
What's in Colorado?
Well, I got this letter this morning from Jack and Jill, and they are arranging a meeting for me on top of a mountain in Colorado to meet my missing husband, your daddy, George, next week. And now I have to go pack, and I have to get on that bus tonight.
Would you talk to her, please, Detective Johnson? Please just talk to her. Tell her that they're toy people, okay? Just remember, Jack and Jill, toy people, okay?
Martha, you must know by now that I'm your friend.
Oh, I know you are my friend, but George is my husband, and if he is going to be on a mountaintop in Colorado, then I want to be by his side.
I only need 48 hours to prove that these people, Jack and Jill, are phonies, con artists.
They're exploiters of innocent people.
They seem very pleasant to me.
Oh, Detective Johnson, it is so good to have a policeman and a father figure back in our family. You're a huge giant for us.
Would you be willing to sign a complaint form against Jack and Jill for mental harassment of your mother?
I will do anything you say.
Maybe you are right. Jack and Jill wouldn't tell me which mountaintop George was going to be on until I sent them $500. And then when I got there, I was to give them another $500. And then...
Ma, where are you going to get this money from?
Kathy gave it to me.
Kathy? Then she really is going to sell her baby?
Being a gentleman of the law, I will leave the room so you may speak freely without fear of entrapment. I'll give you 1 minute.
Oh, Mary, please don't be upset. We're going to have a little money now, and I will be able to make those payments on the mortgage.
This is just like Shylock, Ma. Kathy is selling her own flesh by the pound.
Oh, but Mary, that wealthy couple will be wonderful parents. They'll give every advantage to that child. Besides, Kathy will be able to visit the baby whenever she wants to. It's in the contract.
Time's up. Are you finished?
Oh, yes, Detective Johnson. Everything is going to be just fine.
Detective Johnson, do you have any extra complaint forms?
Well, Merle, these letters clear you once and for all of any foul play concerning the collapse of the condos for Christ.
Wanda, where in the world did you find these things?
Oh, in my late unhonorable husband's office. They were filed under MISC, which with him stood for mischievous.
Now, look at it. It says that he contracted the builders to cheat on the material so he could get a kickback.
Oh, I know. Well, they don't make things like they used to, thanks to crooks like my late husband. But you're going to change all that. You're going to expose this building scandal, and they're going to hand you the zoning commission on a silver Art Deco platter.
Well, I'll tell you, Wanda, I'm beginning to feel like I could do just about anything with you behind me.
Merle, do you really mean that?
Wanda, have you ever heard me say anything I don't mean?
No, Merle, I've never heard you say an untrue or an unkind word.
You're not going to believe it.
Yes.
Oh, Merle, I'm so glad I found you.
Hey, Loretta,
Excuse
how
me
you
for
doing
bursting
there?
in
That's
on
all
you too
right.
like this,
How
but
are you?
I have to have a very serious talk with you.
Sure. You remember Miss Rittenhouse? This is Loretta Haggers.
The name's Wanda.
I like the name Wanda. Oh, but I used to have a dog once named Wanda Nell. Can I talk to you alone? See, what I have to talk to you about is very personal.
Hey.
You know, about
Yeah.
what happened.
What? Look, no problem, Loretta. Wanda here knows everything about me.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it.
I'm his mother confessor.
Right.
Now let's make that sister confessor.
Whatever.
Well, all right, if you say so. See, well, it's about the accident, you know. I mean, not the nun in the station wagon accident, but our accident, you know, the other accident.
I know what you mean.
And ever since it, Myrtle, Charlie's just been in a real, real bad way. I mean, not just, you know, upstairs and everything, but in another certain crucial area, which is very important to any vital American marriage.
Of course.
See, Charlie, he's had a hard time, you know, getting well, let's just say getting any excitement in his life.
Sure.
You know, and it's just hurting him real bad, Merle, not to mention what it's doing to our marriage, which is just awful, you know. And, well, I've never loved any other man in my whole life except Charlie Haggers, but I can't even love him anymore because he doesn't even think of himself as a man.
I know, Loretta, and I can't help but feel that I'm the one to blame for it.
You're right, Merle. You've ruined this poor woman's life, not to mention her husband's excitement.
Right. And somehow I feel almost a responsibility to make everything right again. You know, I played real low with this child's emotions. I used my little boy, Jimmy Joe, almost like bait to attract her.
Yeah, as shamelessly as some men use dogs to attract women in the streets.
Exactly, yeah.
Not to mention, of course, his attempts at violating my firm yet delicate young body.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, now, wait a minute there. Now, look, Loretta, I am repentant, and I would just give anything to redeem myself in your eyes. You know that. And I'd give anything to make Charlie a whole man again.
Well, there is one teensy little ray of hope.
What's that?
Well, it's this ad we found in a magazine. See, it's an operation, and, of course, I mean, it's a wild hope, but nonetheless, you know, it is a possibility when you have the good Lord looking out for you, which we
Right.
do have. See, the thing of it is, there is a doctor in New Jersey that performs this operation, what the kind Charlie needs, you know, that could make not only Charlie a whole man again, but it could save our marriage, and it could totally revitalize our desperately needed sex life, without which I'm about to climb the walls and go out of my mind.
Well, then,
A doctor in New Jersey? Does he operate on tennis players?
Well, see, I don't know, but his specialty is a cosmetic transplant to combat the psychological trauma caused by the loss of one testicle.
well, my gosh, if this is true, I feel almost cleansed.
The miracle of modern science, huh?
There's only one slight little problem, and that is, see, the operation can't happen until there's a donor.
Well, who in his right mind would make a donation like that?
Merle, you really did mean it, didn't you, when you said that you would do anything to make Charlie whole again? You was serious, wasn't you, Merle?
Well, let me say this, Loretta. In the sense that...
Look, Merle never says anything he doesn't mean.
Right.
It's just that he doesn't always know what he's saying.
There you go. What I'm trying to say is by
May
way
I
of...
take that as a
Yep.
firm offer, then?
You're in.
Yeah. Listen,
at you.
Mary's with her mother, Mark, and I said I'd drop by and say hello. See how you are.
Sure, of course, but get out of that coat. You're soaking wet.
Yeah, I guess I am. All right. Yeah.
Oh, you know something? I love soaking wet. You can't be more than soaking wet. I mean, you can be a little tired, half drunk, but if you're soaking wet, that's it. Take off your pants.
Huh? What?
Your pants. You don't want your knees to catch their death of cold? Here's a robe. It's my husband's. Should fit pretty nicely. Oops,
Well, I don't-
there you go.
Listen, I don't know if I should.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
Well, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I guess I trust you with my life, so I guess I could trust you with my pants. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Here, let me give you a hand. Oh. Stick 'em up.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, those are really wet.
Yeah. Well,
Dripping all over my
I'm
book.
sorry.
There you go.
this storm came up all of a sudden, didn't it?
Oh, most exciting things always do.
Yeah. Well, I just I finished work and Hey, I sold 3 RVs today. Are you ready for that?
Oh, I think it's
Yeah.
terrific.
And then the skies opened up and they belched thunder.
Well, we've been having crazy weather for the last year. I don't know. I think it's that messing around in space that does it. The skies opened up and belched thunder. You did say that.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of poetic. What's bad, huh?
The skies opened up and belched thunder. Not bad. Horrible.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Back on again.
Listen, I think I better turn on the CB. When it's wet like this, there are a lot of wet people out there that might need help.
Well, there's some dry people that need some help too, you know.
Hey, how about a drink? Some hot tea?
Oh, yeah. You know what? You know what I miss? You know, when I used to come home from work, Mary always had a cold beer waiting for me, you know. And I miss that. And tonight she's not even here either.
I kind of know what you mean. Nights like this particularly, you know, when you'd be sitting in front of a warm fire. It's tough not to have a drink in your hand. Listen, why don't we have a drink? I mean,
Wait a minute.
wait.
Tippy.
We alcoholics have to stick together at times like this. We'll have a drink. Soda water, please. Just soda water, right? Okay? And we'll have a little lemon twist in it. Here, hold these. Whoops. All right. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
The soda water and the lemon. When I was about 7 years old, I think it was, I used to drink soda water out of a martini glass with the twist of lemon. It used to make me feel very grown up, playing cocktail. And when I was 30, I wasn't playing anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When I first started drinking, I drank beer. I didn't like the taste of it at all. But I thought it was manly, see.
The things we have to do, the foolish things, really, to get approval.
Yeah. I'll drink to that.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, when I first started drinking, things got out of hand, you know. And I was this grown man. And I was not in control of what was happening in my life. I wasn't. And I felt like a failure, so I'd start boozing. And I'd say to myself, hey, look at me. Except then I'd go right out and I'd fall flat and my keys would just pow, you know. I don't know. You talk about failure. I was such a failure. I can't tell you what a failure I was.
Tom Hartman. The word failure should not even be in your vocabulary. Hell, do you know what attracted me to you the first time we met?
Oh, what?
Really?
What?
Your strength. That there was something in your eyes that said, everything's gonna be okay, baby. I can take care of it.
Looks can be deceiving.
Tom. Don't run yourself down. Really, that's all you do. And you remind me of my late husband. Too much humility. Now that's what's wrong with you.
Listen.
At night, you know, it's hard when you've been used to sleeping with someone.
You know, Mary and I split up last year. I couldn't sleep.
I know.
So I drank myself to sleep.
Oh, do I know that feeling? You know, I used to get, around 5-ish, and I'd start thinking, well, now, what are we doing? I mean, we're in a funk without alcohol. Come on.
You're right.
Tell you what,
You're absolutely right.
let's play charades.
Oh, my God, I started feeling so... Charades? You can't... I haven't played charades. I don't know what... It's been, years? I haven't done it.
Don't rub it in. No, it's fun. It'll get the adrenaline going, okay?
You gonna drink it?
No, I'm not gonna drink it. I was just, seeing if I could put it away. You see, it's easy.
Thought you were gonna guzzle it.
No way.
Why don't you get rid of it?
Because it's a test? Just to see how strong your daddy really is?
I'd get rid of it.
Hey, what are you doing up anyway, huh? How come your mother didn't put you to Betty by, huh?
Put me to Betty by. That went out with baby food and bedtime stories.
Well, why do we stop doing that? I mean, I used to love reading the bedtime stories about ogres and witches and headless horsemen, remember?
Those are for babies, and I'm not a baby anymore. You want me to make you an onion sandwich?
Onions? Yeah, sure. Heather, listen to me. Honey, has something happened? Has it? I mean, you can tell your daddy, all right? Has it?
Why, because I'm up so late? It's insomnia.
Insomnia at your age?
Yeah, half the kids in our class have it.
You're kidding. Half the kid... Honey, when I was your age, I used to sleep like a baby.
You probably were a baby.
Well, I admit I wasn't as hip as you are, but...
Thanks, but, this pain, sometimes it wakes me up.
Pain?
Yeah.
Where's the pain exactly? Tell me exactly what. Is it in your bones?
Dad, I'm talking about growing up and out, filling those flat parts into voluptuous curves like Raquel Welch. I can feel it happening at night.
Yeah?
And I don't think I should have a curfew.
What?
Well, why go to my bed of pain so early?
Honey, you need your rest.
But my wrist hurts. And I think I should have more freedom in general.
Honey, you got all the freedom you want. I mean, you go to school, you go over to Trudy's and play.
I think I should go braless.
Well, now that I can live with. But, Heather, look, have you talked to your mother about all of this?
Nah, she's too busy writing her journal. What does she write about anyways? She's up in her bedroom doing it right now.
Well, I guess she writes about all of us, I guess.
How boring. Life around here is just so dull. I wish I was Trudy Weathersby. She got bounced out of school for necking on the lab table with a boy in science class. She said she was experimenting.
Oh.
I wish I was Penny Velasco. She played hooky, and then she ran away to Cleveland with our personal hygiene teacher. At least they're getting an education.
Heather, why are you in such a hurry to grow up?
Because that's what kids are for. To grow up. That's why parents have them. To watch them grow up, isn't it?
No, it's not why parents have them. Parents have them so they can protect them. So they can be good and useful to them. So they can read them bedtime stories. Hey, sweetheart, you're my little girl. You are my little girl.
Yuck.
Oh, my God. Why do you have to grow up? What's so great about growing up, huh?
You mean like affairs and breakdowns?
Right, what's so great about that?
Well, you get to decide which one to do first.
Oh, my God, I can't even follow that remark. I can't. You're beginning to sound like Tippy Toes and your mother.
I am? I told you I wasn't growing up. Oh, boy. Daddy, what's wrong?
I don't know. It's just life, Heather. It's just life.
You want for me to put you to bed? I know some real horrible bedtime stories.
There's always lots of little stuff to talk about. This episode started with Martha and her Venus flytrap that she's trying to feed, and apparently the Venus flytrap is not able to eat, or not eating much. Well, I don't really understand how Venus flytraps eat. I think they kill little bugs, and then the soil gets nourished with them. But then Mary shows up and has the plan for Kathy, but I don't know if there is an actual plan as much as Mary starting to understand what is happening to Kathy. There's a beautiful home with an extravagant pool, and then Detective Johnson shows up to bring Martha to work, and Martha can't do it. But then also Mary starts to see Detective Johnson HB as a father figure and a police officer. So there's a strange acceptance of Detective Johnson, who Martha is still holding out for George. Then it's the Capri Lounge with Wanda and Merle, and they have discovered the clues that will keep Merle out of trouble when Loretta shows up and tells them both about Charlie's secret, which, for me, that's surprising enough, but then it leads to Loretta's ask, and that means, will Merle give up a testicle for this procedure? I mean, we don't even know if he's a donor at this point, but it is a question. I guess we'll see. My favorite part of that scene was when, as awful as it is, Loretta brings up the sexual assault aspect of their troubles, and Wanda gets really, really thirsty about it, if you know what I mean. But you can also see on Wanda's face when Loretta asks for a testicle. That was awkward. Which, it should be awkward. And then we get another sort of awkward but real kind of scene between Tippy Toes and Tom, where Tippy Toes learns about the first season relationship of Tom and Mary, and they both are dealing with being recovering alcoholics, and they have their drink together, and it was a very intimate scene, and I feared that Tom would just leave his clothes there and they might be discovered, but I mean, he did take them home in the next scene, but it was really kind, but also I could see that it would be perceived differently, but I don't know if Mary's ever going to hear about that conversation, or if it does, it'll happen off screen. I don't know. Really, it's more two people getting to know each other, which is really wonderful. And there's no part of me that thinks there's a sexual or romantic relationship, though there are moments when they kind of like connect. But it's still platonic. It's still on platonic terms. When they cross that line, that will be something else. But at the moment, there's a social media meme that is going around that's saying that suggests that even monogamous people can have relationships, and not sexual relationships, but can have friendships with other people, that they get things that are not in their relationship, and that's completely healthy. I don't know how it was seen in the 1970s. I think maybe people were just expected to have their life partner, and that was where everything in their life came from. But that seems completely ridiculous, because people don't have everything in the emotional sense. They don't have all of the emotional skills or whatever, the stories or the background or the insights. And you can have friends. So I'm behind this friendship so far. Tom does seem to be really struggling against the alcohol craving, and I think Tippy Toes is definitely on the right track there. Then he gets home and we see that there's still Schlitz cans in the fridge, and that was really surprising, and he even held one, so we can tell that craving is still there, and that is something he is going to have to deal with, of course, but also that's a little bit scary. And then we get more real talk between Tom and Heather, and Heather suggests throwing out the cans, and I get that. Tom says it's a test for him, and I get that too. It's scary, but I get it. And then we talk about Heather changing, and the relationship between children and parents, and never having been a parent, I'll just take it and listen to it. Maybe you have thoughts about what it is to be a parent and how your child changed. I mean, I think I know the child side because I'm a kid at heart, but that relationship is really interesting. Now, hearing Heather saying that she's becoming a woman, she's having growing pains, she's having insomnia at night. You can have insomnia as a teenager. The world's a pressureful place. I think it puts into perspective a lot of Heather's behavior in the first season, because she always wanted to be more grown up. And that's something that Mary would never let her do back then. Maybe not even now. But she always wanted to be more grown up, and Tom is still holding on to the baby that he had as a not as him being a child, but when Heather was a child, he still thinks of her that way, and she's not an adult by any means, but she's doing the teenage thing. And I guess that is room for a relationship, a parent and child relationship, to grow. So everyone, thanks so much. That's all I got to say about this episode. Thank you so much for socializing with me. Leave your comments below. Let's talk about it. And we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.